Being the first Black anything is always cause for a celebration. But being the first Black woman to be Cook County State's attorney, that's more than a party. It's a revolution. Tonight, State's Attorney Kim Foxx has another first. Her first nightcap with Erica. Tune in. Hey, it's Erica from the south side of the Chi, and I just completed the 2020 census. If you're not counted in, you'll be counted out. And I don't know about you, baby, but I want to be in, not out. What are you waiting for? Take the census. Go to 2020census.gov. What's up, everybody? Welcome to Nightcap with Erica. It's a Friday night, and I am feeling good. The weekend is here. It's been a long week. I'm sure you agree. But if you're here, like I'm here, we're alive. That means we're doing well. We're happy, and we're going to have a good time tonight. If this is your first time tuning in to Nightcap with Erica, you may not know, I started this show because I wanted to have something fun for us to do together to keep our minds off of all the drama and craziness that's going on out in the world. Because we know things are really a little cuckoo right now. But so is my show. So I fit right on in. So just chill, relax. Let me know where you're drinking. Leave a comment. Let me know where you are from. Tonight is going to be a really good show. I'm very excited about it. I'm drinking, of course, Creative Click cocktail. See that? I think it's called Purple Passion or something. I don't know the flavor tonight, but this is a young Black woman on the south side of Chicago. She owns this company. Tell her what you want. She will mix it up for you and deliver it to your house, right? And she'll deliver it wherever you are. So if you're in another state, whatever, let her know. Nikki G. I'm going to pour it in my glass. And, you know, I'm going to be classy tonight. Usually I take it to the head right out the bottle. But because of the kind of guests we have tonight, I want to be on my best behavior and be a little more sophisticated. Nightcap with Erica shows everything from the righteous to the ratchet to from the pastors and the preachers to porn stars and everything in between. So this show has something for everybody, okay? And tonight, oh wait, before I forget, make sure y'all let me know what you're drinking. I want to shout out, you see my fabulous earrings? Yes. As well as my t-shirt. Look what my shirt says. Chicago girls wear the dopest earrings. I'm glad I put a bra on tonight because that wouldn't have been too good. Okay. Chicago girls wear the dopest earrings. Yes. This is from a company called So Rebellish. I'll put their info at the end because I was rushing tonight and didn't get a chance to do it. But the same company, earrings, and the t-shirt is fly. Thank you. They're in New York, but they're showing love to Chicago people. And speaking of Chicago people, you know, my guest tonight is a ride or die Chicagoan. She is proud about it. Everywhere she goes, she lets people know that not only is she, you know, fighting for social justice and doing everything she can to make Chicago and Illinois a better place, she really does do her best to rep Chicago and rep Black folks wherever she goes. And that's why I just adore her and respect her so much. She is a Chicago girl. And it's no secret, she will let you know she grew up in the projects in Chicago and is not ashamed of it and has used that to build strength and to build her character. And is also what made her so successful today. So without further ado, you know, we celebrate many firsts, right? When it comes to Black folks, the first this or the first that. But when it deals with a place like Illinois and in Chicago, when you have a Black woman and she's the first one to ever be Cook County State's attorney, That is more than a celebration. That is revolutionary. It is a game changer. And it is no easy feat. So that's why I want to make sure that we celebrate her tonight and talk to her about her life and how she got to be where she is today. Give it up. Stand up, everybody. If you're in your house, if you can, stand up. Don't waste your drink, though. Stand up and let's welcome Cook County State's Attorney Kim Foxx. Let me bring her up. Hey, hey.
Hey.
How are you?
I'm good. I need you to be my hype woman wherever I go.
Take me on the road with you.
I was about to stand up. I'm like,
yes. You better stand up for yourself. Well, I mean, it really is how I feel about you. I think you are the bomb, as we used to say back in the day. What do the young kids say now? They say lit. What do they say?
I don't know. Merch. I hear the word merch all the time.
Merch.
Yeah.
I don't. Any youngins watching this, tell us what merch means, because I don't know. Yeah, I really do feel that way about you. How are you doing?
I'm okay. I take it day by day. Some days are like really, really stressful. This is a really stressful time. And other days I'm able to, relax. And so today is a good day. Today's a good day.
I know you've been busy working all day, so I'm happy you're joining me for a nightcap.
Yeah.
You saw what I poured. What are you drinking?
I'm drinking a glass of Pinot Noir.
Yes. Cheers to you. Cheers to you. Yes, absolutely. Let me take a swig. Yes, is wine your thing? Like if you're going out to dinner with your husband or out with friends, if you have a glass of wine?
I have a glass of wine. That usually relaxes me. Now, I said to you earlier, I'm not a late night person, so this will ease me into the transition into sleep. So
yes. Well, I'll try to keep it going so you don't fall asleep on me.
Oh, no, I'm not gonna fall. Erica, not on you. I couldn't.
Thank you. Good. Yeah, you know what? I honestly don't really drink. So, but because of what was going on in the world when I started this show, I was like, I think people want to enjoy a drink before they hit the bed. So let me try it. In my drinking days in college, I was more of a Boone's Farm girl. So this is a step up. Okay.
I'm glad for that.
Yeah. I'm elevating. I'm moving on up.
Still make that?
You know what? I think they do still make Boone's Farm. And I know we're the same age. So Zimas were popular in college.
Yeah.
Do you know the Zimas?
I remember Zimas.
I used to drink those, but one drink and I'm a lightweight. So I just, I'm a lemonade girl. Give me some lemonade or some hot chocolate and it's all good. Yeah.
You like the sweet drinks?
I am a sweet drinks person. Kool-Aid is my jam. Kool-Aid is my jam. Yeah.
Red,
purple. I love it. You really are from Chicago, aren't
That's
you?
what I'm saying.
Yeah.
When people say grape, I'm like purple. It's purple.
Purple. Right. It's purple. And even or red. I love red Kool-Aid. I don't know what flavor. It's just red. So I'm back. When you were younger, did you eat wine candy? This how I'm gonna test you if you're really from Chicago. Did you eat wine candy?
Yes, I did. We just try to suck it enough where it wouldn't break your jaw when you try to break through it. Yeah.
Wine. Oh, I miss wine candy. I haven't had. I don't. Well, they call them Jolly Ranchers.
Jolly Ranchers.
They're saying the wrong name. It's wine candy.
Always Jolly Ranchers. Just
I know.
We called it wine because we thought we were like sucking on candy made of wine.
Because that's what it tastes like. You go to the basement store, the corner store, and you go get your wine candy.
Did you do pickles and peppermint?
Listen, yes. I have a Van Hunt pickle in my refrigerator right now because my best friend brought me one as a joke, and she bought me some Chico sticks.
Ooh,
yes.
They still make Chico sticks?
They absolutely do. They do. They make Chico sticks. Boston baked beans.
Oh, with the red bricks on the box.
Yes, the red brick. and lemon heads. Did you eat? I can't believe we're having a conversation. I was gonna have a nice, intelligent conversation with you. And my first question to you is asking about wine candy and Boone's Farm. I have failed. Oh my God.
I failed. Hold on. My light.
Yeah, my light is cheap, so mine flickers. So I'm trying to keep it together. Okay, yes, you're there. Now, a more important pressing question, and we have to get to the hard stuff, is Harold's or Uncle Remus?
So right. Like I was into Harold's before I had Uncle Remus. And I think the crunch on Uncle Remus is consistent. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The sauce is consistent. And I love Charmaine. So
love Charmaine.
I gotta say Uncle Remus. But there aren't as many of them. So I do hit up, my share of Harold's.
Me too. What's your favorite Harold's then? Where do you go?
So I live in the south suburbs. So the Harold's in Homewood is my Harold's of convenience. My Harold's of choice is the one in the South Loop.
They are on Wabash.
Yes.
I was surprised they're as good as they are. I'm a Harold's connoisseur.
Yeah.
Now there's one that's good. Of course, my favorite is 53rd Street in Hyde Park.
Okay.
To me, they're legendary. I know people love the one on 87th, and since I live in Arden Gresham now, I do go there. But my favorite Harold's now is actually on Cottage Grove, like 43rd Street. It's in the cut, and a lot of people don't know about it, and it's good. Shout out to Harold's and the Uncle Remus.
Yes.
I need to have them on the show. I got to figure that out, because that's for people that are watching, because I have people from all over. You're not in Chicago. You don't understand the back and forth battle between the West Side and the South Side, and Uncle Remus and Harold's. We go down about that. Yes. So you can tell a lot about a person.
I'm from the North Side, so we had when I came up this place called Farmer Brown's that used to be right on. Oh, so good, so good.
I never heard of that.
So it closed down when they moved everybody out of Cabrini and tore the buildings down. But they had some of the best barbecue and chicken in the city.
Really? Wow. So you grew up in Cabrini. Did you all play double dutch a lot back in the day?
Yes.
I remember those days when life was just so simple but not too simple. It was still political, because if you were double-handed and the word got out.
That was me.
You were double-handed?
That was me.
No way.
I'm tall, Erica, so my arms are really long. My husband makes fun of my reach, because we went to the United Center once. Yeah, at the United Center they have like test your wingspan.
Yeah.
And I have the wingspan of Vince Carter. And you gotta imagine like these long arms trying to do the ropes. I could jump.
You could jump.
I could jump.
See, that makes all the difference. I wasn't double-handed, so people love putting me on the end, which means sometimes you don't really get your turn to get to jump as much. Is the scam, the hustle is to pretend to be double-handed even if you're not. So then nobody ever wants you on the ends. You just jump.
Yeah. But your arms be swollen though.
Nice
if you stay on them ropes.
If I tried to play double dutch right now and jump, I'm pretty sure I would end up in the hospital, because there's no way I could do that now. I miss those days though, and it was. People talk a lot about Chicago, as you know, and I'm sure you get it a lot because you're a political figure and you're out in the world traveling around representing us here, and the picture is painted is the violence and it's just all of that. But it's like, just to hear you and I could talk for hours about growing up in Chicago in the 70s and the 80s and 90s and all the things that used to go on. But with Cabrini Green in particular, what about your upbringing did you learn from being in that environment that made you the woman you are today?
I think just what you said, like when I grew up there, it was in the 70s and 80s, and it was pretty violent thing. I mean, I think we talk about the violence now. The violence used to be pretty rampant back then. But the beauty of it was that even though there was a lot happening around, we had a real sense of community.
Yes.
We had a real sense of, people who were in the struggle and enduring that together were tight. So you were always looking out for one another. So I would say you couldn't do anything across the street, and we used to live on the 8th floor, that by the time I got to the 8th floor, if somebody caught me like doing something or saying something,
Yeah.
everybody knew. By the time I walked in the house, my grandmother had her hand on her hip. I heard, and we didn't have cell phones. We didn't have, I don't know how they did it, like smoke signals or like,
oh no,
like, but they very quickly,
yeah,
everyone looked out for each other. So there was a real sense of community. And I think for me, that when I hear people talk about our city, talk about our neighborhoods, talk about our people, I think that's what I take the greatest offense of, is that we don't love each other, that we don't look out for each other, that you define us by this standard that just isn't real. Even in the darkest of days in Cabrini, we had people who were looking out for us.
Yeah. I honestly believe Chicago still has that.
Yeah.
We have our bad apples. We have our pockets of where violence and unfavorable things are happening. But the average Chicagoan wants to wake up every day, be with the people they love, work, make an honest living, and have a safe and healthy life. It's unfortunate that people have that view of us, because my friends that are in New York, and I lived there 10 years, they're like, man, I want to come visit you people. I'm scared. I mean, you're not going to take me to Inglewood, are you? And it's like, are you serious? Like, they don't know. They just know what they see on the media. So it's like, I can't blame them.
Yeah, which is heartbreaking, because I've been all over the world. Chicago is the greatest city in the world to me. And I say that because I've seen it all. I have seen it from the projects to Lincoln Park and the West Side and the South Side and everywhere in between. And there's just, you can't beat the people. I mean, you just can't beat the people. Because we got unspoken languages.
Yes.
You know what I mean? You don't have to speak words. You just do a nod here, or just, there's something special about that. There's something special about the resiliency of Chicago people. Yeah. And it's just a beautiful city. Whenever we are able to get back out, it's just a beautiful city.
I can't wait. Although I have, in some ways, enjoyed the quarantine. Of course, I don't like the situation that got us here.
Yeah.
And I'm very nervous about, friends and family getting sick, or even myself. I've been quarantining since March 16th. I've only left my house twice, and that was in the last 2 weeks. I, like, for real, have not left. I get my groceries, I order, and everything. But Chicago, especially summertime, it's such a beautiful, it gets no better than Chicago. The food here, the people. What are you going to miss, though, about this summer in particular, since we won't be able to really operate like we normally do?
I'll say my husband's favorite event, Chosen Few.
Yeah.
When they announced that they weren't doing Chosen Few, we had like a service over here, because my husband was like, "Oh, it's over."
Right. Because he's a househead.
Yes.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah. I'm not a crowds person, so I'm a househead too. I'm just not a crowds person. I went last year and had the time of my life, and so I was looking forward. And he goes out like at 8 a.m. and doesn't come back till like 10 p.m.
Yes.
I'm not built like that.
They love it.
I'm not built like that.
I don't know how they do it. Now the tents are so extravagant, and people, but it's like a family reunion.
No,
it's
beautiful. So I will miss that. And Brewfest, Hyde Park Brew,
and the Silver Room
party. Yeah. I think I was aging out of Silver Room. This is how young people they are.
The youngins come out, but it's so beautiful to see them, and that's the part of Chicago, and especially Black Chicago, that the world doesn't see.
Yeah,
that sea of people on 53rd Street. It's the most beautiful thing in the world. Everybody's feeling good and dancing and eating and having a good time. So I'm definitely gonna miss that. I'm gonna miss the pool and the beach. I'm a pool girl. So the outdoor pools. Chicago Park District has some amazing pools, and more people need to take advantage. Oh, I love them. I really do. But it's good for me, because sometimes I have a whole pool to myself because nobody else is going. But the community pools, a lot of them are absolutely gorgeous, and people need to take more of advantage of them. They need to make me a spokesperson. Do y'all hear that person?
Okay. Okay.
Hello. But yeah, I'm gonna miss hanging out with my family and friends.
Yeah.
Yeah. But better safe than sorry.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah. So, Now tell me a little bit about your path to becoming the state's attorney. Where'd you go to high school in Chicago? Where'd you end up going to college? Did you have this dream? Like, did little Kim Foxx say, I'm gonna be state's attorney one day, or did this manifest for you in a way that even blew your mind?
Yes. It still blows my mind because when I tell young people, I don't think you dream big enough when you're 14. I do a lot of these graduation commencement speeches, and I'm usually stumped because when I was that age, I could not fathom the life that I live right now. And, I knew I wanted to be a lawyer very early on. I didn't know how I was going to be a lawyer. I'd seen lawyers on TV. I'd gone to court with my mother for child support, was very fascinated by the lawyers there. And I said it to my mom, I'm going to be a lawyer. And she said, so it shall be. And we moved from Cabrini to Lincoln Park when I was in 3rd grade. And I was, exposed to things that were deprived from us in Cabrini. I was, taught a foreign language. Everyone started in kindergarten learning foreign language. I started in 3rd grade, learning Spanish and becoming fluent in Spanish. And ended up graduating from LaSalle and got into Lane Tech. And Lane Tech at the time, this is the mid 80s, was like the top ranked school in the city. But what nobody told me that the tech in Lane Tech meant technical. They had me doing wood shop, an electric shop. And I was a straight A student. I was a very intellectual student. I loved to write. I was very much into writing, to reading. And so when I got to Lane and they were like, we need you to make a hand sander, like to sand wood out of wood. I was like, well, I don't look at my hands. Look at I don't do that.
I don't sand things.
I didn't this school number one, you got us like making sanders, rewiring lamps.
Like, I could have went to vocational school. I came here for something different.
So I left there after a year and went to Lincoln Park and ended up graduating from Lincoln Park High School and went on to SIU. So I'm a Saluki and studied pre-law, constitutional law, in English. If I wasn't going to be a lawyer, I was going to be a writer. Like that was my dream, was to write. But my mother was like, right. You're gonna be a lawyer,
right? You're gonna get you a good job.
Get you a good
writers
job.
I don't know what writers do. They don't make money. Yeah.
No. So I ended up graduating. I went there for undergrad and law school. Got a job doing insurance defense for a year. And only reason I took that job, my now husband, who was then my boyfriend, like they flew me back and forth for the interview. They like fronted me some money for an apartment. That was the worst job I had ever had. Like I took it because it felt flashy.
Yes.
People who do insurance defense, if you're watching, God bless you.
Yeah. That doesn't sound sexy to me though.
It wasn't
insurance defense.
It wasn't. I did it for 9 months. And then my friend worked at the public guardian's office in Cook County, which is an office that represents children in the foster care system. And we went to law school together. So I called her and was like, are y'all hiring? Like that was the only criteria I needed. I hated what I was doing so badly that I wasn't really sure what they did at that office. I knew they were lawyers for kids. Let me do that. And I interviewed and got that job. And that changed my life. That was representing kids in the foster care system, many of whom have been abused or neglected, survivors of sexual abuse. And I'm a survivor of sexual abuse, childhood sexual abuse. And it was as though that was the calling on my life, that all of the things that I had gone through, the move from Cabrini to Lincoln Park wasn't easy. We were homeless for a period of time when I was in high school.
Wow.
Yeah, it was. I struggled. We struggled with poverty. We struggled. My mother was bipolar but undiagnosed, and so she had her struggles, and so I had a lot of trauma in my childhood that I think when I thought I was going to be a lawyer, it was I'm going to make a lot of money and just press that away.
Mm.
To the guardian's office and seeing young people who had the same experiences as me made me want to do public service work. And so I had no dreams of like leading a big office. I just wanted to have an impact and show kids, because what happened is these kids did not have hope that whatever they had endured, they thought they were going to have to carry forever.
Yeah.
And so that inspired me to tell my story as many places as I could, in the hope that some kid watching could see themselves or their story in me.
You know what then? So now it all makes sense why you are so passionate, especially when it comes to social justice reform, prison reform, and making sure that people of color get a fair shake, because the legal system a lot of times doesn't seem like it's on our side. And I believe that it would seem that you understand how the person that's there sitting in the jail cell, or the 17-year-old that's getting caught with some selling drugs or weed, you understand what led him or her up to that point. And that's, yeah. And I've been saying that a lot to people, especially, with all this going on and people talking about the looting and the rioting and things like that, which is not that I'm condoning it. But I was like, we cannot criticize the rioting and the looting and the things that are really troubling these young people without talking about the circumstances that got them to this place in the first place.
Yeah, what always fascinates me about that, because I have been really fired up about it, because I think it's a tool of distraction. And you'll hear people talk about, oh, these young people in these neighborhoods, they've lost hope in their eyes and they don't see a future for themselves. And we'll talk, and these people who have no connection will talk in these really empathetic, sympathetic tones. And then when it's those same kids like running in and doing these things, it's like, those, animals, how could they? And it's like, well, if they had no hope, if you thought that, they were struggling with all of these issues before they ran into that building, that's the same person.
Yes.
And if they believe that, I can't afford anything in the store in my neighborhood, I can't afford anything in the store downtown, and we celebrate that, I'm not condoning it either. But I think it's a hypocrisy that we have, where we talk about these communities in empathetic tones until they do something that we are offended by. And
Absolutely.
again, I want to be abundantly clear. Rolling up with U-Hauls to Chanel.
Not a good look.
Not a good look. I know too much, right? I grew up and the boosters would come and like show their wear. So I know what this is. This ain't you like, oh, I'm trying to feed my baby.
Right, because trying to feed your baby is really the people like they were looting the dollar stores. People were really critical of them, like, a dollar store? Who loots a dollar store? And I was like, somebody hungry, somebody that doesn't have a family that's preparing food for them or taking care of them. The looters that are going out to boost and have a ball and get paid, they were downtown.
Right. So, I know enough, right? So now if I'm out, I'm like looking, seeing if somebody got a sensor tag on their bag.
Like, you bought that from a booster girl.
You got a new bag, huh?
Yeah, that's such a nice bag. Was the tag, and that's a nice accessory? Is that the new addition? Yeah. That's crazy. Yeah, I was watching all the stuff on television. I haven't been out protesting and stuff like that. My protests I do in different ways. I haven't been out, but I see everything on television. I'm really I work in the media, and I pay attention to the way in which these stories are framed.
Yeah.
And it's very interesting to me. But I think we have to start doing some things to change the situations that these young people are in. We're putting Band-Aids on cuts without putting any antiseptic on it, not even a little hydrogen peroxide or something.
Yeah.
You got to do
Yeah.
something if we're going to heal and make some changes. And I don't know. I'm thinking though that change is coming, and I know that I'm gonna do my part to try to make things better for the young people that are in my community. But if everybody does their part, to me, it just seems like then we'll all start progressing and making a change. If everybody focuses on them and stops worrying about what the other people are doing.
Yeah. I'm hopeful too. I mean, I think it is the reason that I am so passionate about this. That I
Yeah.
have a bit of survivor's guilt, right?
Mm.
That I have come from circumstances that so many of my peers when I was a kid didn't make it out of. You know, I know too many kids who I grew up with who are no longer here, or
Mm.
who have been in prison. And I think really for me, game changer was moving to Lincoln Park and getting this education and being exposed to these other things. And so I tell people my story about being a survivor, single parent household, all of those things. And people say to me, "Oh my God, Kim, how did you do it? How did you make it?" And I remind them that that's based on the supposition that kids like me aren't supposed to make it.
Right.
That we celebrate, like I call it like a fence, like I got under the fence. But if we are only celebrating and believing that only a few people are exceptional and leave thousands, millions behind because we leave them in conditions that we know that they aren't going to thrive in, then shame on us. So it's why I talk about myself so much and why I connect to the young people, because every day that we lose somebody to violence, Erica, in our neighborhoods, that's a potential cure for COVID. That is the potential cure for cancer. There's so many. If I could grow up from 624 West Division to be the Cook County State's Attorney,
Wow.
what are we losing?
Right.
Who are we losing?
Oh, wow.
Who are we losing? And so that's what I want to make sure we focus on, because we spend so much time. I was so disheartened with the media, and I get it, right? Like, it looked like the purge out there. I mean, it really, I was watching. My husband and I, you know, were like on the couch, like, this is wild. This is really wild.
It is.
But then I think the oversaturation of it and not honing in on why we were out there, why folks were out there, hurt. But I see it. I'm optimistic because I see a bounce back. I see in the last week, like, this is about change and reform, and you're seeing it in immediate action, right? Like there's movement that people wouldn't have anticipated 2 weeks ago. So
right.
I'm very optimistic.
I am too. I'm so, you know, sometimes you got to go through hard times to get to the other side, and I'm really, I have so much faith in my city and Chicagoans in particular, even though all across the US people are suffering and going through hard times. But for my city, our city, I really do think some things are about to change. And I'm also, I look at these young people and I'm like, these babies are brilliant. There's just no one really telling them they are. And even if you were in the drug game, if you could run a drug enterprise, if you could run an illegal enterprise in that way, baby, you could be the CEO of a Fortune 500 company. But it takes for somebody to put them up on game and teach them the right way to do it.
That's right. And I think we have to understand that we benefit from it, right?
Yeah.
That's what our whole city is greater when we have people who have great talent doing what they need to do. And so it's not even just to benefit them, right? If the cure for COVID is over in Inglewood, for a shorty that's over on the corner, I need him to be able to like do what he needs to do so he can help all of us. And I think we have to get out of this mindset that is charity for them. It's not. We are not at our biggest and best potential when those who have talent don't have opportunity to like do what they need to do for all of us.
Oh my God. I'm gonna drink to that. I need any excuse to drink. Yes, cheers. Listen. You're right. It's like you never know who you're walking by. That bad kid that you judge on the corner, you might be walking by the next Dr. King or Malcolm X or whoever. I've had to. I think I'm a lot more open-minded than the average person.
Yeah.
But even me, sometimes I catch myself, depending on how unruly the person is doing, I'll project my respectability politics on them and make a judgment. And it's like, you don't know who that child could be.
That's right.
So I check myself.
Good.
I definitely
We have to check ourselves, because
yeah.
I think we all do. I think that's part of also getting older.
Yes.
Right? Because that unruly stuff feels extra loud and extra unruly
Like,
the older you get.
Like, damn, when they turn that music down, it's like it's not even really that loud. It's just too much right now.
Yeah, your ears have aged.
Yes.
But I think about, I went as part of my work to this domestic violence shelter on the South Side, and I got it was like I was transported back in time. I had to stay in the shelters with my mom when I was in high school. And I was thinking of the volunteers who were there, who had no idea whatever impact that they have in that moment on that child's life, because I immediately went back to this woman at this shelter who I'm positive would have no idea that I would be the state's attorney. And so I just think I'm so passionate about it. And people say, you always feel so passionate. I really do feel like if more people knew what greatness comes from the places you ignore. It is, I shout out Cabrini, and people be like, my God, Chicago, you wasn't there long enough, right? You left in third grade. Right. And I'm like, don't matter. My mother was a child of Cabrini. My aunties were a child of Cabrini. And brilliant, brilliant women who the world would forget because we just don't place the same expectations on them. So I am trying to be the living reminder of what is possible when we invest in those who the world would rather forget.
So since you have that mindset, seeing that you are the first Black woman to be in the position that you're in, I mean, and for those of you all that are outside of Cook County, you have to understand, in many ways, Illinois, especially the city of Chicago, is one of the most segregated cities in the United States. That's why you'll hear terms like Black Chicago. I don't hear people talk about Black New York or Black so-and-so. We say that here because there is distinctions based on neighborhood. So for you to be now the first Black woman in your position, do you feel the pressure sometimes to make sure that you don't mess up because you represent all of us? Like, is it like, okay, if I make the wrong move, not only will I be the first, I will be the last.
Yeah. I carry that every day. I carry that every day, that I'm not in this role by myself, that I have a whole community in this role with me, because people will judge me and say, well, we gave him a try, and then look what she did. And so I'm really mindful. And even more so, I'm also mindful of the people from the community I come from. Like, I still, my brother lives in Inglewood. I have family who have been impacted by the system. I got to come for Thanksgiving, right? And I have to answer to them. I'm their state's attorney too. And I don't think that getting into these roles and forgetting not just the people who have never seen you, right? Because you're the first, but for the people who rode with you when you got there. So making sure that you are mindful of both of those groups. But at the end of it, if you just strive for excellence, to just do your best and do it for the right reasons, I live with the outcome. And I think so far so good. I think the city's still with me.
Oh, absolutely. The things you are doing, though, listen, you came in and you didn't tiptoe. You weren't like, I'm gonna be here and be quiet so they don't see me. Sometimes we feel that pressure, so we say, well, I'm not gonna ruffle any feathers. I'm happy to have a seat at the table, so I ain't gonna act a fool at the table. But you have come in, and the things that you have been doing, it's shaking things up. It's making people realize that some of this could have been being done all along in ways if the people in positions of power would have been on the right side of history, right? Yeah. So I don't envy you. What you have is a tough job. And actually explain to people exactly what is the role of the state's attorney. Because I think some people like me sometimes don't know the full scope of what it is that you do.
What I do. So the easiest thing is I know everybody has seen Law and Order, like one of them. And so, you know, when the show first comes on, there's a body, and there are the quick jokes between the detectives. And the first half of the show is trying to figure out who killed the person. And the second half of the show is trying to get that person found guilty in a court of law. So that's where prosecutors come in. We come in after a crime has been committed, after the police have done an investigation, and they ask us whether or not we want to charge the case. So we charge cases. So we have the ability to charge or not to charge. We tell you what we're going to charge you with, whether we charge you with 16 counts or whether we charge you with 2 counts.
Wow.
We decide, you know, how to ask for bail, right? Whether we want somebody held no bond or the like. And then we carry that case to trial. It's my burden to prove people guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. If you are found guilty, we make sentencing recommendations. So again, somebody could get diversion, somebody could get probation, or somebody could get prison. All of those decisions rest with my office. So we have an awesome responsibility. So we prosecute everything from low-level drug possession, not marijuana because it's legal, because we push for legalization.
I'm gonna ask you about that. Yes.
Yeah. Low-level drug possession to first-degree murder and everything in between. There's not a felony case, a misdemeanor case that comes through Cook County that our office doesn't touch.
Wow. So no wonder, to keep it real, no wonder there hasn't been somebody that looks like you, that's from where you're from, that has ever been the head of an office like that, because there's so much power, and you're going to see things, to me, even more objectively than a person that has never been around these people. When you read something on a form and the person is just a name and a crime without a full story, it makes all the difference. And I mean, so damn, yeah, it's no wonder there are people that don't necessarily aren't the happiest that not only are you there, but that you're doing the things you're doing. Now, when it comes to the low-level offenses, you know, people say things, the people that have been critical of you when I'm around, the main thing is, oh, well, because of Attorney Foxx's office, they're letting all these mass murderers and killers just out on the street, and they're just running amok and they're committing crimes. And it's all because of her. And it's like, when I read what's really going on, we're dealing with low-level offenses that are not violent and that others don't typically necessarily get locked up for anyway. So where is the misconception coming from that you went to the jailhouse,
and opened the door,
opened the doors, and let all the Hannibal Lecters out? Where's that coming from?
I mean, I think first it's coming from, we deviated from the status quo, right? Like that. I don't believe that jail or prison is for everybody. I think we should reserve it for people who are a threat to public safety. And what I know is that we were prosecuting and putting people in jails and prisons for things that they didn't need. You can still hold somebody accountable, but you don't have to send them to prison. And so, you know, for example, Illinois has one of the lowest thresholds for shoplifting in the country, and lowest thresholds to be charged with a felony. $300. If you steal anything $300 or more, you are charged with a felony. In Indiana, it's $750. In Wisconsin, it's $2,000. Minnesota, it's $1,000. $300. It didn't even account for inflation over the years.
Wow.
We've sending more people to prison. When I first came into office in 2016, bloodiest year in Chicago in 20 years, in 2016, 762 homicides, 4,000 people shot. The number one prosecuted offense in Cook County in 2016 as a felony, outside of like low-level drugs, was retail theft, shoplifting. We were sending people to prison for 6 months, 8 months. Now you're talking about people who stole $300 worth of stuff. Don't steal, right? That don't steal. But we're talking about these low amounts. We were sending mothers away from their children, and we know there's a collateral impact when mothers are in prison and away from their children. The children suffer. So the question we were sending people away, and they were coming right back, for stealing. And by the way, the item that they stole was back in the store. Like, in order for us to prove that you stole it, we have to catch you with it.
Yes.
And then we take it back. And so you've gotten your item back. We are now paying $300 or $150 a day to hold you in jail till we take you to trial. Then we're sending you down to prison, sending you not for really long times. You come back, you need a job. People are less likely to hire you if you have a conviction on your record, if you've been to prison. So then if you can't get a job, you're then likely to engage in some behavior to feed yourself.
Right.
You become a booster.
Yeah.
And so the question that I had to ask is, what's the easier way to get somebody to be held accountable without disrupting their lives? And so we raised the felony threshold to $1,000 in line with almost 45 other states in the country. But when you do it and it's new, people were like, oh my God, what is she? People are stealing $999.99 worth of stuff. That's silly. It's silly. But our prison population dropped by 20% in the last 3 years alone for us not prosecuting some of these offenses.
Wow.
But the other thing that we did was we did go and open some of the doors at the prisons for the wrongfully convicted. You know, we were known as the false confession capital of the United States. We were the county and city of Burge. We knew that there were Black men and women in the South and West sides who were wrongfully accused, set up, and went to prisons for crimes they didn't commit. And so we reinvigorated our conviction integrity unit, looked at old convictions. So that means, are there cases where we believe somebody was wrongfully convicted? And so far, we've vacated the convictions of over 100 men and women. So 100 men and women have been able to have those convictions overturned and get back to their lives. And that had never been done before. The most convictions that have been vacated by this office as a result of that review was 10. And we did 10 times as many.
Wow. But you're doing the right thing. If this is about liberty and justice for all,
yeah,
which are the principles that this country was founded on. Now, mind you, when that happened, people that look like you and me were considered 3/5 of a person. We weren't a whole person. And we are the victims. We're suffering the most in the criminal justice system, in the prisons, you know, because they're privatizing. Prison is big money. So I can see why people sitting back and you're doing these things. Like I said, you being who you are and doing what you're doing is, yes, it's cause for celebration and for us to big you up, but you really are doing some revolutionary things that thank God for you that you're here and that you're doing it. And I don't quite understand why anybody would be critical of it unless the fact that now Black and brown people, the ones that are the most stigmatized with these things, are now getting the justice and the liberty and justice that was promised to all. Now all is having an opportunity to actually get it, and some people don't like that. And that's so it angers me that we are living in this world where, why wouldn't you want people that are wrongfully convicted to be free? But I think we want that.
They're coming. I mean, I think that's what the marches in the streets are about, right?
Yeah.
It was the catalyst was the horrific murder of George Floyd, on top of what happened to Breonna Taylor, the horrible murder of Breonna Taylor, the horrible murder of Ahmaud Arbery, but also that our jails and prisons were filled with, you know, we weren't holding those people accountable, but we were sending people to prison for these low-level things. And so I think what you're seeing in the street is that people are demanding a more fair and just criminal justice system. While I'm the first Black woman elected to this role, 76% of the people in Cook County Jail today are Black men. 76%. 76. And so you think about it, you know, you have someone who has not had this lived experience in this role, but the jails are filled with the very people who have the lived experience you do. And so I do think it becomes frightening if you have a deeper understanding or a more holistic understanding and say, hey, what we're doing hasn't been right. For the people who benefited off of that, it's very intimidating. But I think for me, right is right. You just got to stand on right. And I got into this role realizing that it might be a while before the next person gets it. And so I have to do everything that I can to seek justice for as many people as I can while I'm here.
Wow, I commend you. What do you think about the George Floyd that the charges that were brought up against him? I know first it was third degree murder for Chauvin. And I know those of us on the outside looking in are like, you see what's on the tape, and then we know what happened, But on the side of the understanding the way prosecutors work, it's about the evidence and what's there that would be able to be proven to actually get a conviction, right? So what do you think about, because now it's second degree murder?
Yeah, I'm not well versed in Minnesota criminal law, so even their degrees on murder are different than ours. What I will say is I'm very confident in Keith Ellison, who is the Attorney General for Minnesota, who's going to be trying the case. He is someone that comes from the community, understands the need to get this right, and clearly it is a murder. And I think Keith will have the appropriate charges levied. I think that's where we are right now. I don't know that that's where we'll stay.
Wow. Yeah, I'm praying for his family. I'm praying for all of us. I really want this nation to heal. I watched the video once and I couldn't see it again. It was very traumatizing for me. I'm the kind of person that I cry when I watch reality shows, let alone the news. So when I see something like that, I didn't even realize how much the death of someone I've never met could affect me. I've been here in this house crying. I even canceled my shows last weekend because I just needed a break. I needed to woosah. And but we got to keep the good fight going. And I'm very impressed by the young activists that are out now. They're coming with the fire, man. And, I just wish there was more of a connect, a gap, a bridge to gap the difference between the new generation of activists and the old guard. I think that there's some disconnect there. And we wouldn't be where we are without the freedom fighters of years before. But the younger generation wants to handle things a bit differently. And there's got to be a meeting of the minds. What do you say about that, especially when it comes to youth being activists, and the way in which they're engaging and working with the people that have already been here that led the way?
Yeah, I think we have some of the best activists in the country here in Chicago. The youth movement, the work of Assata's Daughters, BYP 100, and again, these are people who hold me to account. So I say this not as someone who has not been a subject to an action by them to make sure that I'm on point. But I think part of it has been, you're right, that generational, like there's something to learn from the elders and the young folks who want to get going. And I think there's some relationship mending that has to happen. Because I think, there was as elders, and I have 4 teenage girls at home. So I know that sometimes I'm like, girl, I know better than what you're talking about. Right. Like,
right.
Keep living. Right. Like, I know what this is. And then watching them buck up against me. And some of the best arguments that I've been able to settle with my kids is to humble myself to say, what do you have?
Yes.
And meet them where they are. And I think that's what we have to do on both sides of this equation. Because how amazing is it that we come from a city that has Jesse Jackson and Louis Farrakhan? Like, that's our town. That's our city. And so we should revere the work that they do and have done and the things that they've seen. But how amazing is it that we have, now the movement are led by young women, queer women, LGBTQ women, like, that these women are coming up and doing this. How do we meet each other where we are? That there's something to gain from both.
Yes.
From the elders, you get an energy and a hope, and know that, like, as you move on to your next life, that they got it, that they got you, that you can rest with some assurance that they got you. And for the young people, I remember when I took my daughter to meet Reverend Jackson, and I'm showing her at Push the picture of him on the balcony with Martin, that real connection to history, that real reminder of what is in our DNA. And that man has seen so many things that we have read about in books. But there's something brilliant about the ability to still keep having that fight when you're almost 80. So I think there's a humility that comes on both sides. And that's what leadership is. Leadership is the recognition of your humility and your vulnerability to serve a greater purpose. And I'm confident they're going to come together.
Yeah. We have to. We must come together. That's the only way things are going to get done. And one thing that I know the activists in Atlanta, Killer Mike, said was if we have to, especially as a community, as African Americans, figure out exactly what it is that we want. And we're not going to all agree. You got things you want. You got things you don't like him. You don't like that. But we can all agree on something. And those 10 things we agree on, like, get them down. Let's get together and let's make those things happen. And so that's where my mindset is at. I can sit across the table from my enemy. And if it's 3 things we agree with, we're going to focus on that. And we'll leave the other stuff alone. But we're going to start winding down because it's almost your bedtime. And I got you drinking wine, girl. So I know.
No, I'm going to have a nice sleep. Thank you.
Yes.
This is the nightcap. So.
Yeah, it is a nightcap. Absolutely. So if anybody watching, if you have a quick question, please leave a comment right away so we can get to it. And you were talking about family and your daughters. I want to ask you, and this is just one of those girlfriend conversations I want to have. I'm single. I don't have children. I don't have a boyfriend. I've been quarantining long. I don't have a quarantine bae, which has actually been good though, because I got to focus on me. But with you have a beautiful husband. You got the gorgeous children. You got the bomb career. You're an established woman. Can we really have it all? Is there hope for those of us out here? Because I always hear that you get one, but you won't get the other. You might get the great husband, but you're going to have a horrible job. Or you might get amazing kids, but the husband ain't going to be worth nothing. Like, can I get it all? Can I get it all?
Sometimes not all at once. I mean,
I need to calm down. I want it all. Tomorrow, Attorney Foxx. I want a husband, and I want 4 kids and a husband tomorrow. And a job.
Yeah. No. I
know.
I do my best. I try to balance it all. And, my kids, this quarantine actually has been one of the best gifts for me because I've been able to be with my children more now than ever. I've spent more time with them in the last 3 months than I have in the last 3.5 years. And they have said to me, you worked too much. You missed too much. And so while my career was booming and I was doing a lot, I wasn't as present as I could have been at home. And so I think there's sacrifices that you have to make to be able to have it all. And it ain't all going to work at once.
Okay. I'm going to calm down then. I'm going to calm down. A couple people are making comments that I want you to see before we get out of here. Somebody said Harold's all day. Yeah, Naila, Ali, I hear you. Harold's all day. Somebody said Uncle Remus chicken is too hard. It's good though.
It's a good crisp to me.
Yes, it's a nice crisp.
And consistently crisp.
Because that's the thing. Sometimes, with our restaurant, the different locations got different recipes. Like it's not consistent depending on which one you go to. You might get something over there you won't get at the other one. Now, do you get as pissed as I do with that little bitty teaspoon of coleslaw that they keep putting in these chicken meals? What is that?
Nobody eats it. Who eats the coleslaw? Do you eat the coleslaw? You do.
I'm not supposed to.
I'm supposed to do it because they put the little coleslaws in that I'm not going to eat. Like, ask me. Do you want a coleslaw? Ask me first. Don't mush up my bread and my ribs with coleslaw that I'm not going to eat. You need to ask.
But I love the coleslaw. To me, it's a nice little, it's almost like when you go to fine dining and they put a little sprig of parsley, or sprinkle something green. Black people now, we're hip to it. If you sprinkle green on a meal, that means it's elevated. So to me, the coleslaw at the chicken joint is like a sprig of parsley.
Bless you.
Okay.
I just be mad because I'm like, you done took up a little corner of my basket for this thing that I don't want that's now getting on my bread.
People
But,
just throw it away. I will say, I've been many a times when I told people, give me your coleslaw. So by the time I take 4 or 5 people's coleslaw, I got a full order, a normal size order of coleslaw. So
that's you.
Yeah,
There's always one in a bunch that it's like, well, I'll take that.
Yeah, nope, because people throw it away. If you just stand by the garbage can in Harold's or Uncle Raymond, you can get all the coleslaw you want. So I gladly take it. Someone has a question and they want to know, do you see yourself doing something nationally? Mm-hmm.
No, I see myself right now taking it day by day.
Really?
I told you I couldn't even see myself here. So I've been very blessed to be guided where I'm supposed to be. So I'll be where I'm supposed to be. How's that?
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I can see your name up in lights on the side of a White House. I could see that with no problem. We'll see. Yeah, let's both agree to that. Mm-hmm. President Foxx, I'm all for it. That sounds sexy, actually. Okay. Janie Stephanie said, keep fighting the good fight, Attorney Foxx. We're behind you. Thank you for the work you do. Absolutely.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Yes. Before you go, is there anything you want to say to the good people of Chicago? Anything on your mind?
I just want to say I love y'all. I think you have to lead with love. And I love this city. I love the people of this city. And for everybody who is, from the projects, whatever building you from, whatever project, who shout out your building numbers to me. There's not a day to go by. Somebody be like, 812. And I'm like, but that's love. That comes from a place of love. And so what I would say is, with that love, in these really difficult times, we got a lot of work to do, and it's going to be uncomfortable and heartbreaking at times, but I'm so optimistic. I'm so confident that we're going to emerge bigger and better than this if we remain rooted in love, if we remain rooted that anybody part of the Chicago family that hurts, we hurt together. So we have to collectively make sure that we're okay. So I love y'all, and I'm just honored and humbled to serve in this role, to serve my city.
Well, I'm so happy that you're in this role. I can definitely tell that you're full of love and that you lead with love. We need more leaders to lead in that way. To me, you're setting the most amazing example of the right way to lead. Lead with love, lead with what's in your heart, instead of some people lead with selfish intentions, and the fact that you care about everybody, it really does show, because you have considered the least of us when many times they go ignored. And if we really want liberty and justice for all, for every human being, we've got to consider the haves and the have-nots equally. And that's why I'm glad you're doing. So in honor of you being the first, and you come from a long history of first and Black first, especially in this city, because Chicago was founded by a Black man.
That's right.
So with him leading the path and you coming behind him doing what you do, I just want to salute you, State Attorney Foxx, and say thank you for being the woman that you are. You are the shining example of what Black girl magic is. But you're more than magical, and it's an honor for you to be here today. And I'm supporting you. I am with you. Thank you for caring about Chicago, and I wish you nothing but success. And I hope you can be state's attorney forever. Is there a limit on your terms?
I'm gonna have a term limit, yeah.
Right. Right. You're gonna set it though.
I feel like my husband gonna set the term.
Your husband, he's well, you know what? I get it. And because if you're showing us all this love, I can only imagine the way your family feels the love from you as well. So if I was him, I want you home more too, to get some of that love. So thank you so much for being here today. This is awesome. Like, you're my first major political figure that I've ever had on my show. Yeah. So you stepped my rep up, because everybody's been writing me all day like, you you interviewing Kim Foxx? Even my mother, who doesn't have Instagram or Facebook, was like, how you getting on the phone with Kim Foxx? I'm like, we're not going to be on the phone, mommy, but I'm interviewing her. So, yeah. What do people call you, though? We're supposed to call you State's Attorney Foxx, Attorney Foxx. Like, what's your name?
Yeah, most people call me Attorney Foxx. But I'm Kim. You can hit me with a State's Attorney Foxx first, and then hear me say you can call me Kim.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you. And next time I see you, I'm gonna make sure I bring you some Chico sticks and some wine candy.
All right. Thank you.
So cheers to you. Thanks for having a nightcap with me. You all make sure you contact our state's attorney if you have any questions or things on your mind. You can obviously tell that she's very open to hearing from us. Her Instagram has been listed and going on across here. And you can find her. She's all over the internet. She's on Instagram and Twitter and Facebook. So you all reach out. And until she says the time is over, we need to keep her in her position. And I'll just say it like that. We'll let her decide when it's time to go. We don't want her to go anywhere. So thank you, Attorney Foxx. I'm gonna call you Kim. Thanks, Kim.
Thanks, Erica.
Thank you. Good night.
Good night.
Woo! Wasn't that great? Listen, you can learn a lot about a person by sitting and having a glass of wine with them and a nice nightcap. God bless Attorney Foxx. I wish her nothing but success. And even for those of you all that may not like her tactics or may have questions about the decisions that she's making for our city, pay attention to the things she's doing. Listen, open your hearts and mind. And I guarantee you, if you do the same as Attorney Foxx and lead with love, you too will see that what she's doing is the right thing. Attorney Foxx is on the right side of history. Will you be? I'll see y'all later. Until then, till tomorrow, check out my show tomorrow. Tonight, I was a good girl because I had Attorney Foxx here, but it's Saturday night tomorrow night. And y'all know what that means. Nightcap is back to its ratchet foolishness. Tomorrow, I'm having quickie sex convos with 5 different amazing men of all different races and backgrounds. And they are going to simply answer the question, men want women to know that, and they'll lead us into a fun conversation, a quickie. Every now and then it's a good time for a quickie. I also want to make sure I shout out the small businesses that have shown me love. Let me switch to that for a second. My Creative Click cocktails that I've been drinking all night, my So Rebellish jewelry and t-shirt. My cup is from Starlight's Lady, and my lip is Poised Beauty. I show love. Also, guys, listen, if you are an entrepreneur or a small business owner in Chicago and you're Black, I got a gift for you. I'm announcing it tomorrow at the top of the show. I'll tell you what it is. You're going to love me for this. So stay tuned. If you're an entrepreneur in Chicago, I have a gift that's coming from me and a very important friend of mine that wants to do our part to help Black entrepreneurs get the things they need. And it's a nice gift, right? So yeah. Also, last but not least, tip your stripper. I'm Nightcap with Erica tonight. Normally I go by my stripping name is Pound Cakes. Didn't want to do that with the state's attorney here. I was like, I'll be a good girl tonight. But if you love the show and enjoy it, I definitely need your support. It costs me money to produce this show and put it on and make it look good. So any little help that you can do, I'd really appreciate it. And the main thing you can do for me, even if you don't want to make a donation to my Cash App or my Venmo, show me some love by sharing my show, hashtagging Nightcap with Erica, telling people about me, because my show is really good. And I'm not just saying that because I am me. I am Erica, and you're having a nightcap with me. I'm just trying to bring some funny and some fresh and some coolness to the world, because we're going through a bunch of shit right now. Shit is tough. And I want us to have a good time. On Sunday night, I'm talking about gifts for daddies. And there's a lot of daddies that watch my show. I know y'all are tired of getting that same old wallet and that little horrible robe and them little terrible little pictures your kids be drawing at school and that card they make. Happy Father's Day, Daddy, and everything is spelled wrong. Let's step it up. These black men are going through enough in the world. The least you can do is get them a really amazing Father's Day gift. So I'm going to talk to some entrepreneurs on Sunday that have great companies and have awesome gifts for the daddy. So tip your stripper, forward my show on, let people know, and just know I'm enjoying my show and having a good time hanging out with y'all, and I hope you feel the same way about me. Until we meet again, see y'all tomorrow night. Thank you, State's Attorney Kim Foxx. Thank you for being you. It was a great show tonight. Bye, guys. Hey, it's Erica from the South Side of the Chi, and I just completed the 2020 census. If you're not counted in, you'll be counted out. And I don't know about you, baby, but I want to be in, not out. What are you waiting for? Take the census. Go to 2020census.gov.